You're on.
Right. Okay, Jacob. How are you doing today, mate?
I'm going well. I'm
Yeah,
going well.
okay. Did you see yourself as a writer? And why or why not do you see it?
Jacob. I don't particularly see myself as a writer, no. I don't think I'm extremely creative. Um, I think when I have normal dialogue with people, it's quite, um, I don't know, I'm straight to the point. I'm pretty, well, I'm very Australian. I use a lot of slang and will try and get around using a lot of big words, a lot of language. So no, I don't particularly see myself as a writer, no.
How did you develop this perception of yourself in relation to writing?
Um, well, this perception of myself, I don't know. My writing throughout primary school was never my strong suit, and something that I enjoyed. But I suppose I've developed it a little bit since then. Um, it's probably gotten better in my latter years, so as I've gotten a bit older. Um, I know that we were talking about it a bit earlier in your interview, how much multimodal ways of learning and those types of things, so your videos and movies and stuff like that, kind of change your perception of how you would write. Throughout my primary school, it was all pretty straightforward. Like we learned heaps of grammar that was nailed into us from the start and all that kind of stuff. So I never really, I don't know. That's kind of why I never see myself as a writer. I wouldn't say I'm a writer. No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, on that, what do you, what kind of movies and TV shows and literature do you think has shaped your writing style?
It's a good question. I don't really know. Hey, I mean, I've watched a lot of TV shows and bits and pieces, but and a lot of it's. I love sports, so it's a lot of documentaries and bits and pieces, and I don't know, that documentaries and that are pretty straightforward in the way that they use their wording and bits and pieces. Not very creative. Um, I don't think they're that creative. But documentaries, definitely I watch that kind of sorts out my writing a bit, and then movies as well. Movies, I watched a lot of just I don't know, action movies and all those kind of things, and I don't know, fantasy movies and bits and pieces, and that does show you some creativity, but and that's probably helped me with story writing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, that's about it.
Fair enough. What process do you usually go through when you sort of write? Do you have a bit of a plan, or do you just kind of fight the hip?
Not particularly. No. I probably should have a better plan, but I always like to. Well, I always start with my introduction, even though some people frown upon that. I always feel because the introduction sets up your whole essay. So if I can get my introduction right, which might take me longer than some other people with their writing, if I get that right, then that sets me up for my whole. If I'm writing an essay, it will set me up for the whole essay.
Gives you a bit of an idea what you're going to write.
Yeah. So I've never been one to write a draft or anything like that. But if I can get my introduction right, then usually it will help me.
Yeah, use your introduction almost like a brainstorming session.
100%.
Pretty much.
And then obviously at the end when I'm editing, in my editing process, I'll refine it and change some things.
Yeah, I'm very much the same.
Yeah.
What do you think you write about the most or least, and what do you like to write about?
I don't write a lot.
Yeah.
I write the most would be essays, mainly because of my assignments. But good question. When I have had to do writing, a lot of it is very formal writing, so via emails to different people. So a lot of admin work, stuff that I do for work. That's probably I don't know, shaped my writing. I reckon is the fact that I'm always emailing people and bits and pieces like that. And yeah, so I wouldn't say I write a lot of creative stuff. Obviously, this unit that we're doing at university has kind of helped that, and it probably has opened up a few more doors to the way that I write. So, but yeah,
So what would you say you think you like writing the least?
writing the least.
Or what do you sit there and you go like, it's an assignment or a piece of work I don't want to do?
Well, I don't. Just because I don't think I'm a writer doesn't mean
Yeah.
I hate writing.
Yeah.
I don't.
No,
I
exactly.
don't dislike writing. So I've never been like, oh, this particular type of writing I don't want to do. Like, I don't enjoy writing essays, but like, it doesn't mean that I don't like dislike the format.
Yeah. Yeah,
I've
so
always,
value
yeah,
it.
yeah, oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't really dislike any of it, to be completely honest.
No, exactly. Sometimes it's refreshing to have something where you don't have to think creatively.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
What do you think makes a person a good writer? Like,
I think we've talked a lot about creativity. Creativity, I reckon, makes a good writer. A broad vocabulary, understanding grammar and structure is pretty important. I think those types of things are what makes a good writer.
nice. What skills and knowledge do you think good writers need? I mean, you basically touched on it there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Good punctuality. They need to be taught structure.
Yeah.
But also, I talk about structure, but they also need to have a chance to be able to show their own identity through their writing.
Yeah.
So that's where we come back
100%.
to creativity.
What do you reckon supported you the best when you were developing as a writer and writing now?
Supported me.
Yeah, like
Yes.
what sort of influenced you, I guess?
Primary school probably more than high school
Yeah.
influenced my writing probably more than anything. I feel like I'm quite good at grammar.
Yeah.
Mainly just because of the way that I was taught. I've never been, a huge writer, but I think that influenced the way that I write. You can usually see that my grammar is quite good.
Yeah.
I've never been terrific at spelling either, so spelling is something that I'd have to improve on. But I think that's how I've developed as a writer, like just being ingrained into me, like good grammar, punctuation.
And that definitely helps. Like I think a lot of people look at stuff like Grammarly and think, oh, we don't need to worry about it anymore.
Oh, yeah.
But it helps because at the end of the day, they're just technology, and so they've got
That's right.
limitations. So yeah, I agree with you. What did your teachers do or not do, do you think, to help you with writing and influence you in your development and confidence? Was there a particular teacher or a system?
Yeah, I had a teacher in primary school that came in only for English, basically.
Yeah.
She came in as a substitute teacher, but would focus mainly on English, and probably taught me the most about actual paragraph structure. So having a good topic sentence and having your final sentence or your clincher sentence relating to that topic sentence and those types of things. We touched on grammar before, came in and taught a lot about grammar, so things like verbs, using adverbs and different kind of conjunctions and those types of things. I think that was really pivotal in how I have developed as a writer. I think I could have probably got a little bit better spelling stuff. That's something that I struggle a little bit with my writing. Teachers could have done better to develop my spelling.
Is that just because they use workbooks, or?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I think there could have been more enjoyable activities to influence my spelling.
Maybe them having a bit more passion in teaching.
I think something? Or just enforcing more reading. Because I haven't done a lot of reading. Either. You do some, but it's not something that I'll go and pick up a book. I'd rather go out and play sport or something like that.
Do you think it's like a role of teachers try and, especially in this day and age, with so many things with movies and visual arts and the like, as well as podcasting and all that? Do you think it's more important for teachers finding a way to make it accessible and interesting traditional literacies like reading and that make it a bit more interesting for the students rather than just being like,
Yeah.
read this 10,000 word
Oh, definitely.
study on plants.
No, I definitely think so. As we're going through this day and age, as we increase digital prevalent, digital technologies are becoming more prevalent in the classroom. So, but there's definitely, you can definitely see the importance of like physical copies of books and actually reading. And yeah, I think that they need to probably still enforce it, but it's just trying to find that happy medium where it's not boring for
exactly.
kids.
It's like as you basically said there. It's important that the teachers are that bridge and finding a way to engage the kids. They seem to be the teachers you've learned the most from, the people who've engaged you there.
Very good.
Okay, sweet as.
Cool.